In the rural outskirts of Robeson County, North Carolina, there is an old wooden bridge locals call Black Creek Bridge. It looks ordinary at first glance, just a narrow crossing over dark, slow-moving water. But anyone who has lived in the area long enough will tell you it is a place you should never walk across after midnight. Not because of ghosts at first, but because of what happened there in the autumn of 1962. Back then, a woman named Clara Hensley lived in a small cabin near the creek. She was gentle and well-liked, known for humming and whistling old folk songs while tending her garden. One cold October morning, neighbors realized they hadn't seen her in days. When the sheriff began searching, they followed strange drag marks leading toward the creek. Her shoes were found on the muddy bank, placed neatly side by side as though she had taken them off willingly. Her hat floated in the water next to them. But Clara herself was never found. People assumed she slipped and drowned, though her body never surfaced. The case was closed. Life moved on. But the nights did not. Only a week after her disappearance, fishermen began hearing something unusual along the creek, a woman whistling softly in the dark. Not erratic or ghostly but slow, familiar, almost like a lullaby. The sound would drift along the water, calm at first, then growing sharp and unsettling, like someone trying to whistle through broken teeth. Whenever anyone tried to follow the sound, it would suddenly stop, only to start again behind them. Those who heard it described the same feeling. A sudden coldness crawling up the spine, and the unsettling sensation that someone invisible was standing very close. The sheriff dismissed the reports until one night, two teenage boys crossing the bridge heard the whistling and saw a pale figure standing knee-deep in the creek. Her clothes were soaked, hanging heavily on her thin frame. Her head was bowed, her wet hair covering her face, but her lips, the only clear part of her, were pursed as she whistled that same haunting tune. When they shouted at her, she slowly turned her head toward them, and the whistling stopped instantly. The boys ran home without looking back, unable to describe her face afterward. They both insisted later that she had no eyes where her eyes should be. More sightings followed. Drivers crossing the bridge late at night said a figure would appear suddenly in the middle of the road. A woman dripping water, her feet bare, her head tilted unnaturally to the side. Some said she reached out as though begging for help. Others claimed she simply stared at them, her mouth moving but producing no sound. A truck driver swore he hit her one night. He felt the impact and heard the thud. But when he jumped out to check, the road was empty, except for a puddle of freezing water spreading slowly across the asphalt. Rumors began spreading that Clara's disappearance had not been an accident. Some whispered that she had been taken, dragged into the woods by someone she knew. Others claimed she drowned herself after losing her only child years earlier. No one could agree on why she vanished, but everyone agreed on one thing. Something unresolved still lingered at the creek. By the 1990s, the legend of the whistling woman became so well known that teenagers dared each other to stop their cars on the bridge at night and turn off their engines. If they waited in the silence long enough, the whistling would start. Light, distant, almost playful at first. Then closer, sharper. As though the unseen woman was walking toward the car, step by slow step. Many claimed the temperature inside the vehicle would drop suddenly. Some said the windows fogged up from the outside as though a cold, wet hand had touched the glass. One local family experienced something more terrifying. Their young daughter began waking up every night at 2:13 a.m., crying uncontrollably. When asked what frightened her, she simply said, "The wet lady keeps trying to whistle to me." When her parents finally asked her what the woman looked like, the girl shook her head and replied, "I don't know. She doesn't have a face." Eventually, a group of local historians discovered an unsettling fact. Black Creek had once been used as an unmarked dumping ground for crime victims in the early 1900s. Some believe Clara's disappearance awakened something older, darker, and now she was not alone in the water. Today, Black Creek Bridge is avoided by almost everyone after dark. Yet the whistling continues. Hikers, fishermen, and late-night drivers still report hearing a woman's soft tune drifting through the trees. Some say the whistling is getting louder, clearer, almost as if she is getting closer to finally being seen. Others believe she is searching, for a body, for justice, or for someone to join her in the cold, silent depths of the creek. And if you ever visit Robeson County and you find yourself alone near Black Creek Bridge after midnight, locals will give you only one piece of advice. If you hear the whistling behind you, do not turn around. Whatever is there does not want to be seen. If you enjoyed this story and want more terrifying true mysteries from around the world, make sure to like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe. There are many more real horrors waiting to be told, and some of them are much closer than you think.